Okay. I think I gotta get my thoughts together here. I guess I'm gonna jump out the gate and address questions that have been posed to me a few times. It's not outright, are you an atheist? Instead, people would come at me like, well, Brother Rocky, what do you believe? And I thought, what a loaded question. And the assumption is, like, if I don't believe like them, then therefore, or I'm therefore an atheist, or the opposite of whatever their belief system is. My thinking was like, okay, we kind of get on the God train. All right, I'm not trying to belittle the notion of God or a person's belief in a God, a superpower, and what have you. It's just that I sort of balk at the idea that God's existence is dependent on my belief. And I believe even to this day that if, God is God, and I have no reason to believe otherwise, then God exists whether I believe in him or her or not. So therefore my belief is actually irrelevant. And it seems that, man, that is so difficult to people to wrap their minds around. And I don't understand that. Because let's take God. Okay, God is the creator of the universe. All right, so we're told. I have no problem with that. God knows all. God is everywhere, and so forth and so on. God is omnipotent, omniscient, and all these kind of things. Hey, I have no problem with that. On the other video, I would mention like how people would inquire as to like, how is it that I, being a black kid growing up in the South, became an atheist, and I kind of got into that on that video. And my attitude is that, well, I just don't think, well, let me say it like this. Let me interrupt myself. So I just don't believe that your belief in a supernatural power is a necessary condition of that entity being in existence. Because if God being, omniscient, omnipotent, and omniscient, then my belief is not a necessary condition for the existence of that entity or deity. And that should be okay. I don't know why that's okay. And I don't know why people believe that, and that's kind of what it is, that what it boils down to, that you must believe a certain way in order for God to be, I guess, relevant or real. And that is just a bizarre way to think. Because, like I say, I grew up an atheist. And so when I chose to take the position that, like, look, you know what, I just don't really believe in the God you guys are talking about and preaching about. It just seems like a fairy tale to me. Well, if God is God, then God should be, at least should have been in existence, even with that kind of doubt. So this idea that people tend to want to pin me down to believe the way they believe, and perhaps even believe what they believe, I just think it's almost foolhardy. Because at the end of the day, whatever we think, either God exists or God doesn't exist. Those are only two options, and I'm okay actually with either, and everything. So I don't really get this, that people ask you a couple questions, ask me a couple of questions, maybe my responses throw them off a little bit or whatever. Then it's like, well, we got to pin you down to see what you believe. Well, I don't really know why that's relevant to me. You're just wasting your time. The idea is that if you take the position that God exists, that basically that's all that should matter, in my view. But That's it. Just Rocky says, what do you believe? Well, that's what I believe. That God, your belief is not a necessary condition of God's existence. I'll cut it right there. Peace.